to All Home Care Matters, the show where we discuss all things home care, with discussions on important age-related matters and topics. Brought to you by Enriched Life Home Care Services, the #1 rated home care provider in Michigan by Top Rated Local.
Hello, and welcome back to All Home Care Matters. If this is your first time visiting us here at the show, we want to say thank you for taking time out to be with us today. We appreciate how valuable everyone's time is, and that's why we try and make each episode here at All Home Care Matters something that will hopefully matter to you. As many seniors get older, they will find themselves spending more and more time in their beds and less time out and about. This is especially true for those suffering from mobility problems or other illnesses that hinder their ability to move around like they used to. Unfortunately, the more time a person spends in one spot, the higher the risk that they will develop pressure ulcers, also known as bed sores. Bed sores occur when a specific area of the body has a certain degree of pressure on it for an elongated period of time. When that happens, the skin opens up and becomes infected. On today's quick tip episode of All Home Care Matters, we'll go over everything you need to know about bed sores, from the risk factors to how to prevent them from happening. This should be a helpful guide to helping your loved one stay safe, comfortable, and infection-free. People are at a higher risk of developing bed sores if they are immobile and have to stay in one spot for a lengthy period of time. While this is one common cause of bed sores, it's actually not the only risk factor out there. Incontinence issues can also cause damage to the skin that can lead to open skin and increased risk of infection. A person might also get bed sores if they've lost their sense of touch due to a neurological disorder or spinal cord injury, because they will not be able to detect pain or warning signs of a sore and are more likely to get an infection. Bed sores might seem like a relatively harmless, although uncomfortable wound on a person's body. But in reality, bed sores pose a great risk to anyone who has them. There are a number of complications that can occur with bed sores, so extra precautions must be in place to help prevent seniors from getting them. If they do get them, then it's important that they see a doctor immediately and do not wait for the infection to spread. It is possible for a bed sore to cause cellulitis, an infection of the skin and soft tissues that occurs when bacteria enters a break in the skin. Cellulitis can cause severe swelling of the skin, along with pain, blisters, and even fever. If left untreated, cellulitis can spread to the lymphatic drainage system in the body and cause chronic swelling. It can also cause deep layer emergency infections to the facial lining on rare occasions. In addition to cellulitis, a person with bed sores is at risk of experiencing arthritis from joint infections, which could lead to tissue damage. They are also at risk of bone infections, which can cause their joints and limbs to not function properly. If bed sores are left untreated for a very long period of time, a person is at risk of developing skin cancer as a result of the accelerated growth of squamous cells. Squamous cells grow when a person's skin is experiencing trauma or abnormal changes, such as an untreated wound. On rare occasions, bed sores can even lead to sepsis, which can lead to widespread inflammation and even organ damage. Clearly, bed sores are nothing to mess around with. While they might not always be completely preventable, particularly for those who have no choice but to spend their time in bed, it is essential that the wounds are treated as soon as they are found. Do not rely on your loved one to notice and report the sores themselves. In many cases, a person doesn't even realize they have a sore until it's too late. Have your loved one's caregiver check for sores on a regular basis. There are ways to lower the risk of a person getting bed sores even when they are stuck in bed. The most important way is to keep off the bed sores is to get moving. Even if your loved one is stuck in bed, make sure to change their position regularly so that no one spot on their body is under too much pressure. At the same time, replace old or worn-out chairs with armchairs and recliners that have comfortable cushioning. If your loved one is able, have them switch between the bed and the chair instead of remaining in one or the other for most of their time. If possible, have your loved one engage in a range of motion exercises that will get the circulation flowing. Exercise can make the biggest difference, and it can be as simple as arm and leg exercises in bed. Physical and occupational therapists can be an enormous help when it comes to choosing the best exercise plan for your loved one. There is also specialty bedding available that helps to prevent bed sores. Air mattress toppers or customized cushion padding can be used to reduce pressure on areas of the body. There are special materials that can reduce pressure on mattresses, chairs, and even footwear to help reduce pressure wherever and whenever possible. If your loved one suffers from incontinence, they may be especially susceptible to bed sores. Make sure that your loved one's skin is cleaned regularly and remains dry. If urine or other bodily fluids are not cleaned from the skin will deteriorate at a quicker rate and bacteria will enter the broken skin. This can be prevented by regular bathing and making sure that the skin always remains clean and dry. Finally, a healthy diet can actually be key to preventing bed sores. A good diet will strengthen blood circulation and help to fight off any possible sores. Make sure your loved one is consuming a balanced diet filled with fruits, vegetables, and plenty of fiber and protein. If you notice that your loved one has a bed sore, make sure to change their position immediately to alleviate unnecessary added pressure. Usually the sore will go away on its own after 1 or 2 days of being pressure-free. If it does not, make sure to contact your loved one's doctor right away. The doctor will make sure that there is not an infection and prescribe any necessary treatments. If there is an infection, extra medical care or medication might be necessary to fight it. The earlier you find it, the better. Bed sores might seem harmless, but they're nothing to mess with. Still, if you notice them early enough, they can usually go away before an infection occurs. Make sure to do what you can to prevent your loved one from getting them, and if they do get them, make sure you do not ignore them. We want to thank you for joining us here today at All Home Care Matters. All Home Care Matters is here for you and to help families as they navigate these long-term care issues. We invite you to please visit us at allhomecarematters.com, where there's a private, secure, fillable form where you can give us feedback, show ideas, or if you have questions. Every form is read and responded to, and please, if you know someone who could benefit from this episode, share it with them. And remember, you can listen to the show on any of your favorite podcast streaming platforms and watch the show on our YouTube channel. And make sure to hit that subscribe button so you'll never miss an episode. On our next episode of All Home Care Matters, we will be discussing caring for a loved one who has had a stroke. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us today. We look forward to you joining us again on another episode of All Home Care Matters. To learn more about the show and to connect with us, visit us at allhomecarematters.com.